going to introduce a national abortion ban. The question is, how do you, as Kamala Harris takes the stage, turn this into something about how you or she will affect the lives of Americans and less about you or Kamala Harris as personalities?
Well, first of all, in terms of personality, I don't think she has a personality because she's allowed crime to flourish wherever she wants. And if I were a person, I wouldn't like that personality. That's not the personality I want. Whatever she's got, they don't have it because San Francisco was crime-ridden, and it's gotten worse and worse. I mean, she had policies at $950. You can steal anything you want up to $950 in a store, and they're not going to prosecute the people. They have policies that are absolutely insane. This guy Walsh comes out and he wants tampons sold in young men's bathrooms. You have to have tampons available, not even sold, available in young men's bathrooms. We're giving our government away when we put two lunatics like this in. They can't, if they take over our government as president and vice president, our country doesn't stand a chance. The whole world, I know every leader, the whole world is laughing at us. They can't even believe it's happening. Biden was incompetent. He was the worst president in the history of our country. I see the way they're trying to build him up. It was an overthrow. She is worse than him because she's actually a radical left Marxist. That's what she is. That's what she's always going to be. She's going to ban fracking. She's going to ban all energy production coming out of the ground. She is going to ban everything that's good, and she's going to go to like the all-electric car mandate. How ridiculous is that? They're too expensive. They don't go far, and they do have a market. But we want gasoline-propelled cars. We want hybrids. We want lots of things. We can have everything. What they're doing to our country is unbelievable. And most importantly, they've made our country very safe. And internationally, they've made it even more safe. As bad as when you see Chicago and the cities, as bad as they are, much worse internationally. We're going to end up in World War III because she's incompetent. Biden sent her. Russia would have never happened with Ukraine if I were president. Israel, the attack on Israel would have never happened. Iran had no money. They had no money to give to Hamas or Hezbollah. But let me tell you, and a little known fact, and the press doesn't want to talk about, Biden sent, I call her Comrade Kamala, sent Comrade Kamala to see Putin in Russia 3 days before the attack. She went, she said, she gave her case. He attacked 3 days later. He attacked 3 days later. He laughed at her. He thought she was a joke. Now he's really laughing when he sees her. Can you imagine her negotiating with President Xi of China, with Kim Jong-un of North Korea? The whole thing is like we're living in a fantasy land. And then I see the people. It's like they're having a party. They don't mention the border. All they do is make up lies about me. Every one of those things, and I'm really appreciative that you brought that up, Brian. Every one of those things is a lie, what they say about me. Project 25, I have no idea what the hell. I don't even want to see it. I don't want to read it because I want to say I have no idea what it is. Some people get together. They do something that's extreme. I assume it's extreme. I don't know because I don't even want to see it. It doesn't matter. On abortion, I will bring it up. We did a great thing. We did something that for 52 years people have wanted to do. They wanted to get rid of Roe v. Wade. They wanted to bring that subject back to the states. Every Democrat wanted that, every Republican, every liberal, every conservative, and every legal scholar. And I did it. And it's now back in the state where it belongs. And they're taking votes. The states, Ohio came out with a much more liberal policy than people would have thought. Kansas, the same thing. Texas maybe will be different. And what it was is they want the vote of the people. They want, now I will say, like Ronald Reagan, I'm for exceptions, for rape, incest, and the life of the mother. I'm for exceptions. Ronald Reagan was for exceptions. Most people are for exceptions. You have to follow your heart. But it's being voted on, and an issue that's ripped our country apart for 50 years. is being solved at the voting booth, and states are voting in what they want. And a lot of these policies, I will tell you, are much more liberal than people would have thought happened. But they say in the convention, I want a federal ban. I would never, and they know I've said it, there will not be a federal ban. This is now back in the states where it belongs. And again, every Democrat, every Republican, everybody wanted Roe v. Wade terminated and brought back to the states. Then about 10 years ago, they started talking about the number of weeks and the number of this and that. No. Right now, it's in the hands of the people. The people in the individual states are voting. I did something that's going to bring our country together eventually, but because they lie so much at this convention, they make it sound like it's I want a federal ban. Won't happen.
Right.
It's not going to happen. It's in the hands of the states.
Right, Mr. President. Yesterday there was a big announcement or big rumors spreading that RFK Jr. might be dropping out, might be endorsing you. His spokesperson said they will give a live address tomorrow about his path forward. And now there are rumors that he might join you at this rally in Arizona tomorrow to announce that he's supporting you. What's the truth? Have you talked to him?
So I've known him for a long time. He's as you know, he's a little different kind of a guy. Very smart guy. He's a very good person. If he endorsed me, I would be honored by it. I would be very honored by it. He really has his heart in the right place. He is a respected person. Women love some of his policies, and I guess some people don't like some of his policies. But overall, I thought the Democrats, he was a Democrat. I don't know what he is right now, but he was a Democrat. They treated him very badly. I think he would have, he goes around saying he would have beaten Biden in the primary. I think there was a good chance. What they did to him was what they did to Biden. They really were harsh and threw him out. They wouldn't let him go to the vote. I mean, they made it impossible for him to compete in primaries because he was doing so well. And they basically made it impossible for him to do what I think he would have been successful. I think he would have overthrown Biden because Biden is so bad as a president. When I hear this talk about Mount Rushmore, I turn off your television. If I have to read an article, I just throw it down. Mount Rushmore for this man who is the worst president in our history. He's allowed, and she is, because she was the border czar. Now she disowns that. She's allowed millions of people to come into our country, many of these people totally unchecked, totally unvetted. Many of these people came into our country, think of this, from prisons and jails, from mental institutions and insane asylums. And, Brian, there's many terrorists coming in,
there's no doubt about it. There's 99 on the FBI watch list that are in our country right now. And we just talked to a sheriff that says we have more people turn themselves in, but more gotaways than ever before with these new rules. Mr. President, they keep bringing up the fact that you were against the bipartisan bill that Senator Langford and Senator Murphy came up with about 6 months ago. You didn't want it done. What didn't you like about that bipartisan bill on the border?
Everything. It was no good. Millions of people in that bill, millions and millions of people would have allowed to come in. And, Senator Langford hurt himself. He's a fine person. He hurt himself by even putting that forward. But more importantly, you don't need a bill. If they want to close the border, I had the best border in history. You see the numbers. You see the famous chart that probably saved my life, if you want to know the truth. But the chart that I was pointing to, that I made a turn to the right, showed that they had the least number in recorded history. The week that I left office, we had, by the way, the lowest inflation, and we had the least number of illegal immigrants.
But you just didn't like that bill.
Country.
They said that you killed the bill for political reasons. Did you kill it because you wanted to do it yourself? And if you fixed the border, it would have hurt your chances of getting reelected. What do you say to that?
Brian, I didn't do anything on the bill. People would ask my opinion, but I didn't do anything on the bill. I think they respect my opinion. It was a terrible bill. But more importantly, if they want to fix the border, they don't need a bill. The President of the United States, which is what I did. I didn't have a bill to close the border. I closed the border. I had the safest border. I had the least drugs coming into our country in 38 years. I had the least, you have the human traffickers are horrible, and they traffic in children and they traffic in women, mostly women. But I had the lowest number of, we went after them with a vengeance. Nobody's ever gone after. They will be very happy. I'll tell you what, they would be very happy to see these lightweights get back into office. They